Welcome back to Financial News You Can Use. You heard from Wayne Isaksen a little bit earlier. I'm your co-host, Neal Whittington. We have Angela Batchelor here today with us as our special guest from Century 21 Sweyer and Associates. And I'm going to jump right back into, we have a few more questions for Angela, our real estate expert today. Angela, do you think the government, this is something that a lot of people have been talking about, do you think the government will eliminate the ability to take that deduction for your mortgage interest? There's been a lot of talk about that. So
Certainly.
Do you think it's going to be taken away from homeowners' taxes, I guess, is the way to ask that?
I think that's a great question, Neal,
Right.
and one that we're all very eager to find out the answer to.
Right.
There's no predictability with what will be happening over the next couple of months and what decision will be reached. But I think something that we can rest easy on is that for many, many years, owning a home has been a great long-term investment. And whether or not you can write that off on your taxes next year, I don't think that that's going to change whether or not the consumer and the homeowners of of this country are going to, I don't think it's going to deter people from purchasing.
Right.
It shouldn't, because again, owning real estate, it's the American dream. It's,
Right.
what everyone aspires to do, or at least most people. And I
Sure.
think when we look at that over time, typically owning a home is a good investment and
Right.
can bring you a large return on your money.
Gotcha. Now, I know, there are a ton of people out there probably right now with it being more of a buyer's market, I guess. There's a lot of people looking at buying right now. But do you think at this point is renting a home better than buying right now? Or how do you feel about that?
I feel pretty strongly about that. I think not everyone is perhaps cut out to own a home.
Okay.
Maybe our existing market has something to do with that, the foreshadowing of the answer to that question. But I think what's important to understand is that buyers do have a lot of power in today's market.
Right.
Consider the interest rates. I mean, ultimately they're very low. However, we have seen an increase in our interest rates. Specifically yesterday, we reached over 5%.
Right.
So I think that it's important, if you're thinking about purchasing a home, you're thinking about making that decision, taking that step, whether it's you just sold your home and you're looking to get into something a little larger, perhaps you're downsizing, or even purchasing your first home. The lower the interest rate, the more home you're going to be able to get for your money. And I put
Right.
together a slide for you guys if you want to put that up.
Okay.
It's actually interesting because what it shows is the lower the interest rate, the more purchasing power you have. For most buyers, the highest priority for them is to be able to get their monthly payment as low as possible.
Sure.
But wouldn't we all want to own a little bit more if we could?
Right.
Right, and do that affordably. So what you can see from the chart, and I think that might be the wrong chart, guys. If you can
We want
just,
number 3,
we'll
right?
just kind of go through it. Yeah, we do. There we go. That particular chart, it shows your purchasing power. And
Right.
so when you're looking at purchasing a home at $220,000 with an interest rate of 4.5%, your monthly payment is going to be $1,106. But if you look at the change of the second home here, you can see that with an interest rate of 5.5%, you're really going to only be able to afford a home that's $200,000.
Right.
And your payment's actually going to be a little bit more. It's going to be $1,128 every month.
Okay. So probably in this area especially, there's a lot of people out there. I know this was one of our most popular questions, but if a family is out there, maybe it's a couple of empty nesters now, and they're looking to downsize, and they have a home, say in the $350,000, $500,000 range, are those types of homes selling right now? And I'll ask you the second part of the question after you answer that one.
That is a good question. And when you look at the market data,
Right.
It shows that the average home on the market is actually in that price point.
Okay.
So the majority of homes are going to fall within that price range. Today, selling your home in that price range is a little bit more tough than it is if you had something that was in the lower price point. And I put together some info for you to put up on the screen that just kind of shows the trends and what's happened over the last 12 months in our market.
Sure.
And that graph will show you that more than 70% of all the homes that were sold in the last 12 months were actually under 250,000.
Okay.
But you can see that about 50% of that number of homes that were sold actually sold in that price range. So in that, 250 to 400 range.
Okay.
So people who have homes there, they definitely have the opportunity to sell. The most important thing is pricing your home as competitively in this market because you have more competition, and then also making it look like the best home in your area, in your market.
Okay, so you're sort of moving into the second part of the question. What are some tips or advice that you could give someone to sort of set themselves apart, I guess, from everything else out there?
I think the most important thing, and just kind of going back to that first slide that we had saw, 95% of all homes that were on the market last month didn't sell.
Wow.
So, and that's a lot.
Sure.
And when you look at that number, how do I put myself in the 5%? And that's what sellers ask me every day.
Right.
Everyone wants to know that. And so the first thing that you have to do is you have to be priced appropriately.
Right.
A lot of folks say, I don't want to give it away. That's understandable. No one does. We all want you to be able to get the highest value for your home as you possibly can.
Gotcha.
It gives you better purchasing power in the future. But what's important to consider is you have to be priced with the market.
Right.
And what market value really means is, what does the buyer perceive your home is worth? That's very important. So staging, making sure that your home looks the very best it can from a marketing standpoint, from professional photos, to making sure your home is staged properly. Those things are important. But again, if it's not priced right, doesn't matter how great your house looks, it's probably not going to sell. You have a less than a 5% chance. The higher the price range you get in, the slimmer those chances become.
Sure. So price it right from the get-go, and it
That's right.
hopefully will move fast.
That's right.
Cool. Well, guys, in closing here, I just want Angela to, and I know that you don't have a crystal ball, but just give us your outlook for, say, the rest of 2011. Hard to believe we're almost nearly halfway through February already. So the rest of 2011 and maybe into 2012, where do you see the local real estate market here?
Well, I think that we've seen a large number of buyers come into the market just since the beginning of the year.
Right.
Home sales nationwide have actually lowered, but in our market, we've seen a big pickup, and that's a great sign. But I think we still have a number of homes that are foreclosures and short sales. Right. And those homes, unfortunately, they're comparable for those folks who are selling that aren't in a distressed sale. So what we have to understand is that the prices are probably going to stay low for now.
Right.
But the purchasing power you have by selling your home today with a lower interest rate is huge. You could get into a neighborhood that maybe you didn't think was possible in a better market.
Okay.
So there's opportunity there, but I still think that we're at a point where we're going to see prices are low for a number of years.
Gotcha. Well, fantastic. Angela, I want to thank you for coming on today and talking about something, that's near and dear to a lot of people's heart, especially in this area. Guys, check out Angela Batchelor at angelabatchelor.com. I think that information is going to be up on the screen if it has not already. But thank you again for coming. We're going to go take another quick commercial break and hear from our sponsors, and then we're going to be back with Wayne Isaksen and hear his closing comments.
Thank you for tuning into our show. I hope you got some value out of the discussion on the real estate market, and I want to remind you that there are solutions available for homeowners that are underwater with their mortgages, or for people that have a hardship and find it increasingly difficult to make that monthly payment. I invite you to submit any questions to me at www.wayneisaksen.com. The correct spelling is listed on the bottom of the screen. In this economic environment, it is so important to be proactive and track your income and expenses so that you can create a household budget that will enable you to free yourselves from the shackles of debt. With food and fuel prices rising by double digits and unemployment staying at persistently high levels and salaries stagnant or even falling, it is so important to live within your means. I will be posting a recap of the show on my blog. If you missed any of last week's show or even this week's show, you can view it online anytime on this station once it gets posted up there. Be sure to tune in next week for more interesting and sometimes shocking financial news you can use. Be safe, be aware, and most importantly, stay informed.